And we're live.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. We are live. I have I have access to the group now, so I can see those who are connected. Just to make sure it's showing on our page.
Sure.
Yeah, it's showing on our page. Hello, everyone. Yeah, I can
Good
see
evening,
that.
ladies and
Good
gents.
evening, everyone.
Ladies,
ladies and ladies.
ladies.
One person. Yeah, ladies and ladies, welcome.
You never know. Some ladies might be watching with their hubbies.
Yes.
So
Hello,
we
guys.
cannot discriminate. We have to
Yeah,
greet.
yeah, it's for the benefit of everyone. I mean, if you get better, it's for the benefit of everyone connected to you. So I would like to thank everyone for joining us this evening. If you're just joining in, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Naomi, the author of The Totality of a Complete Woman. And I have here today with me Evita, and she's going to say a little bit about herself, going to introduce herself, let us know what she does, so then we can kick right into the event, right? So Evita, can you introduce yourself to our audience, please?
Yes, sure. Good evening, ladies and gents as well. If there is any, I would like to introduce myself briefly. My name is Evita Gailume. And just a brief background, originally I'm from Latvia and I've been in UK just over 2 years, sorry, over 10 years.
Yeah.
And 2 years would be, well, yes. And pleasure to meet everyone and be on this show. Thank you, Naomi. Hi,
Thank you.
for inviting me. And
Mhm.
today we're going to be talking about the power of resilience. And I believe that strongly is part of my life as a single mom. And I've been working in hospitality industry for over 8 years. And for the last 2 years, I'm running successfully my online business. And there is some challenges being and some bullet points what we're going to go through today. And I think I have to say thank you very much for this opportunity to read your book. And you have done a great job. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Everton, for that. You heard her, everyone, and she said she's a single mom and she has businesses. She also works a lot of jobs. She's a very, very hard working person and someone that you will learn from today, which is why I decided to bring her on. So please feel free to send in your questions in the comment section. If you feel like there's something you want to ask and you want it to be a bit private, my number is there. You can send me a direct question on WhatsApp and we won't let anyone know it's from you, okay? Yeah,
Thanks.
so I recently wrote a book and had it launched in the conference we had, The Totality of the Complete Woman. And I'm very passionate about helping women because I feel that there is so much more that we can do. And that's why I'm having this event today to bring on women who, when I wrote the book, I made mention of some things in some chapters that I feel like this particular maybe characteristic is, quite strong in a particular individual, and it's something that can be manifested in every single woman, right? And because we have the ability to multitask, and we do not know sometimes that we have this ability, and then we go into a shell. So the essence of having this kind of event is to let you know that what one person is doing, you yourself can also do the same. There is no limit to what you can do. The only limit is in your mind, right? So I believe every time you read the book, can you just tell us a little bit about what you talked about the book overall and what we're talking about today?
Sure. As today we're going to be concentrating on one chapter, which is resilience. When I read that chapter, I picked a couple of bullet points, and I think it's very important as a woman because it all connects. So if we go through the challenge, which is a number one, I think challenge in life everyone has. Everyone. So that was number one, what we can go through. Then we can talk about courage, determination, balance, focus, and as well, it's very important, mental health. It plays major work.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Evita. So I think we'll just get started because we planned that this is going to be a 1 hour event, so I don't want to spill time. So when we talk about challenges, what sort of challenges would you say? What are the common challenges that women face today? What would you say is the number, even if it's not number one, but what are the major challenges you think women in our world face today? Those that are married and those that are not married.
I think generally, like, I will put my own opinion, like what I was challenging, but generally, I believe woman's challenge is a time, and
Mm,
major as well. It's money, finance. So for me was a lot because I used to work in two different jobs. I used to do hospitality and social services. And as a
mhm,
single mom, I needed to make sure that substantial income is within the household. So it wasn't easy. What I realized that income was there, but I never had time. So
mhm.
I used to miss a lot of parents' evenings. My son loves football. I used to miss his games. And because of what? It's a work where the commitment. So that was my major challenge time-wise. Whereas now I choose that go through different phases. So I'm doing now working from home with a successful online business, and I can see more time freedom.
Wow, that's great. So would you say that your ability or the strength you had to come out of that challenges to say, oh, this is what I want to pursue is tied to being resilience, which is what we're talking about today. Would you say that it was tied to you being resilient about what you wanted to pursue and not letting anything tie you down? Or was there another driving force that made you say, oh no, I'm gonna push further to get where I want. I'm going to push further to become financially independent.
There was obviously, like, you have to have a balance in life. In So basically, when you set the target, there won't be one challenge or two challenges. It starts within everything with you. So, for instance, you have to set the goal and you have to go. So, if my, for instance, goal is to get the certain amount of finance where I want to get in a household. And same time, you see, in life, you have to jiggle a lot because you cannot have time and you cannot have finance when you are employee.
Mm.
So you have to work around those things. So it's a lot about the balancing as well and focusing on that target.
Okay, I like what you said about, the balancing. Now we can agree that every woman has challenges. And one of the key things you mentioned was about time and money. And we see that everyone wants money. Everyone battles for time because you have kids surrounding your life. If you're not married, you're thinking about education or you're being pressured into getting married if you're young. You're trying to really, really find yourself, to be honest. And many young women have not really found a purpose for themselves. So they just feel like I just need to start a business like everybody else, or I just need to get a job like everyone else. They've not really set a goal, which you mentioned that you must have a goal that you want to achieve for yourself. Otherwise, you just be, jumping from one place to another, right? And you
That's
also
right.
mentioned,
Yes.
yeah, and one of the key, we wrote out some keywords I want to discuss, and we talked about challenges. I'd like us to move forward to talk about determination. So, how can a person, a woman in this, context, be determined? Given all the challenges that she faces, what would you say about determination?
Determination for myself is doesn't matter what. If you even fail, you have to stand up and go for it.
Mm,
It's the person who never gives up. And as a woman, we always have to have that strength, never give up whatsoever in life.
mm,
So that was my one of, and always go for what you want. You have to, life is all about the balance. So when you balance all that, and you have to have that kind of like a personal strength, which is a determination.
mm.
And yes, never give up. I always say go for it, because quitters never win and winners never quit. That's how it is.
Exactly. Exactly. I know we've made mention of balance quite frequently. Can we now talk about what it means to balance? Because that's the main issue. One of the major issues women face is how to balance their life. So work, business, family, kids. How do I find the time to create that balance? How do you create the balance every time?
Right. Firstly, you have to set priorities. You see, you cannot be, you have to be as well. You cannot be in sense of like you want to do 101 thing and not completing one. So the way I balance myself, I set my priorities. So I organize myself even for this meeting. Don't get me wrong, ladies, I needed to prepare because that's all about the organization. Otherwise Naomi would be calling, oh, Evita, where are you? Oh, sorry, I forgot. No, you have to organize yourself. That's the number one.
Number
Life,
one.
kids, job, anything like that, you have to organize. Yes. So setting priorities and going towards it, and it's not an easy. Sometimes you lose the balance because, you know, life is like a roller coaster, and we're not perfect. And like I say, we're not perfect, but that's what makes us perfect. We don't have to be perfect. When you lose the balance, you have to stick and you have to follow the discipline. That's where the discipline kicks in. Same thing, it's a simple example I can give. Like, for instance, one day I will say, you know what, today I'm going to be on a diet. I got 1 day motivation and I completed that day. Next day I can't be asked anymore. So that's when the discipline kicks in. And and is a business wise exactly the same. It depends what you do. The discipline must be there.
Must be there. Well, powerful, powerful. And you know, like talking about like creating balance, you know, I was in the book, I made mention of productivity. And you know, that comes into you creating a balance in your life or being able to do what I call snatching time. A lot of people do not know how to snatch time. Many women complain is I don't have time, baby's crying, I don't have time. But I did a little bit of analysis when I was writing the book and said, okay, fine. When you wake up in the morning, you have to do probably a school run, you have to prepare breakfast, you have to, you know, make sure lunch is ready even by morning, and you drop the kids off at school, you come home, you have to do house chores. You know, it goes back to what you talk about organization, making sure that things are organized. So if someone says, well, I have to do laundry every weekend, I would say, why don't you break that into every single day? So it's like you giving little time to complete the task and breaking your goals into tiny bits, than accumulating everything all at once, and then you get overwhelmed and you're tired, you're not being productive. And the next thing you tell yourself is, after having the strain of work, oh, I want to relax with Z World, or I want to relax with Netflix and have, you know, a chill and watch a movie. But you know, like I mentioned in the book, as a woman, life is not the same for us as it is for men. Because men are like the king in quotes, so they are like the leader of the home. They have to go out and get the money. In some cases, both the man and the woman, they're working. But in like your own case as well, you said you're a single mom, so now you have to play both parts, right? So as a woman, it now comes to you saying, what can I sacrifice? What can I let go? What sort of pleasure or leisure can I let go to ensure that I'm productive? So that's what resilience come in. Is like, I'm having all these challenges, but if you, like you mentioned, put everything you need to do together and say, I need to be organized about what I'm doing, then you can actually create a life balance. Because say, for example, you're cooking chicken. A lot of Africans like to cook, really cook well. And, you know, we cook egusi soup, we cook, you know, it takes time to make those meals. So you're wondering, I'm putting chicken on the cooker, and I'm cooking it for 1 hour. So while you're waiting for the chicken to cook, you're not cooking yourself, right? What are you going to be doing with that time? So you're standing by the cooker and you're waiting for the chicken to get ready. You can actually multitask to get something else done. But you just sitting there and say, I have to cook, and you're focusing on that. No, you have to realize that time is not the same for you. Life is not the same for you. As a woman, things become different. So you have to let go of a little bit of pleasure and say, I want to put that time into productivity. You know, I told someone recently, I was saying, the person was like, you work so hard all the time. When do you have to relax? I said, well, if I watch movies, and I do just once in a month, you know, out of the blue, if I want to, and then I choose what I want to watch, not just any kind of thing. Because you see, every time idleness is so easy to get into. You can just decide to just sit down, like, I'm not doing anything, let me just chill. It's so, but I choose a different kind of idleness. And I talked about that in the book as well. The idleness is like a bread. So you have wheat bread, you have the white bread, which has more fat, or you have the brown bread, which has, you know, less fatty do. And then I choose the wheat bread. So it's more like watching a movie, choosing to do activities that will be productive rather than doing things that are not going to make you productive. So creating a life balance, like you mentioned, is being able to organize everything that has to do with you, break it down into tiny bits, making sure that your goals are accomplished one day at a time. But start from understanding that time is not the same for you as it is for a man. I don't know
Absolutely.
if you have anything to contribute to that.
No, all I wanted to say, I think we women are blessed. God has blessed us by multitasking. And like myself, I think 24/7. My mind never rests. I go to bed, I already plan my day ahead for tomorrow. So you want to avoid all the disappointments. So if I wake up this morning and I will be like, what shall I do? What do I have to do? Your day has been ruined because of not planning, and you will have
Exactly.
disappointment. You will be, even like in a household, you have to break, as you said, every task there should be like placed in a day, because when you get overwhelmed, then you get anxiety, you can't manage things, you feel depressed, you got too much load on your shoulders. No, it's all I say, our weakness is laziness for the human. When we get lazy, our excuse will gonna be, I'm too tired, I want to chill, let me have a watch. Myself as well, I don't watch TV. All my I have avoided all the friends, not like avoided the friends, but I don't
Yeah.
socialize as much as I used to,
Mm-hmm.
because I believe I'm at that age in my life where I should be thinking and focusing on different things rather than
Mm-hmm.
going out and about and, I don't know, gossip. Yeah, gossip sometimes once in a while is good, why not? But you cannot be
Yeah.
doing on a weekly basis. So
Mm-hmm.
like they say, show me 5 friends
Mm-hmm.
and you will be the sixth how they are. Or
Yeah.
you have to really see that environment around you. I'd rather stick to myself with good educational books, reading. That is more completing me
Mm-hmm.
than sometimes bad environment. So you have to plan everything step by step. You cannot be running the staircase, you have to walk step by step.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. We're gonna go back to that, talking about friends and choosing how to choose the right circle. I think is something worth discussing, really. But can we talk about a little bit about focus, because we made mention of balance. We talked about balance. Can we just throw a little bit, a light on what focus really means? What does it mean for someone to focus? How do you practically get your mind to focus?
Yes, focus to me, what I do, it's something similar to what we spoke about before. It's about organizing. So focusing, organizing is kind of, it's a sisters, like our twin sisters. And for me to be focused, I write down quite a lot. All my whys. You have to have a strong why if you're doing a business. You have to strong why if you want to succeed in marriage, in relationship, any part of life. You have to have a strong why,
Yeah.
and you have to prioritize the tasks as well. So you have to write it down and then go for it, rather than, oh, let me go do shopping and then I will do meet up with that client. Or no, you do turn around and go meet the client first, because it's all about the prioritizing. So, and set like a target as well. That's what we're going to put you in a focus. So if I say in the next 3 months I want to achieve certain things, you go for it, because your focus will be only that target. But if you're not focusing, you can have a trip in your mind, you can have a weekend away in your mind. There are so many things. And never forget to reward yourself. Like I say, even if it's date night or nice family dinner, you always have to reward yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for that. So I'd like us to look at mental health. Like with this one we're talking about and planning, we said it's a very broad topic. And you made mention of some things that when we hear mental health, we think immediately someone who's crazy. Or there are little things that manifest as mental health issues that we do not take, we do not recognize. And these things really, really affect us. So I want you to just say, briefly about what you think generally how women can deal with or handle their mental health. Why is it so important that you should put attention on that?
Yes. Oh, it's a very broad question. Yes, mental health. If we're talking about like depression, for instance, anxiety, fear, that's all comes with overthinking, or you
Mm,
too much thinking in a past. That's when you feel depressed. Anxiety comes with overthinking about the future, how it will gonna be, if there is always that if. So I'm sure everyone has felt or been depressed or anxiety, overwhelming, all those things. For me, I wouldn't say I've been depressed, but you have those slow moments. So it depends
yeah,
how you work, but for that you cannot be a weak person. You have to work a lot on yourself. Like I always say, give yourself, if you are a lazy person, give yourself at least 10 minutes a day, just self-educate, read good information. You cannot be watching bad news or listening to moaning friends and it gets influenced to you. No, 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 no. Say no, sorry. I got my own
mhm,
business to mind. So you
yeah,
have to spend a lot of time on yourself because
mhm,
it takes a lot to be strong. It takes a lot. So
yeah.
yes, I believe in that.
Wow. Depression is really something deep that a lot of people get into. And I believe that it comes from a place of feeling dissatisfied about oneself, or, your achievements, or you try something, or you maybe apply for a job and then you get rejected, or you kind of look at people who are somewhat successful, and you feel that they don't have challenges in their lives. And then you feel, because, oh, this person looks like she's successful or he's successful, then I feel bad about myself that, oh, nothing good is going for me. But people do not understand that, it takes time to actually build success. It takes time to arrive at that destination. I was watching a live video online on Instagram live with Ubi Franklin and DJ Spinell, and he was saying, when he was trying giving an advice to those who were coming into the music industry as young musicians, he did mention something, that you must know that it takes time to get to where we were. And he was recounting one of his experiences when he was locked outside Two Face's house. Two Face, Two Face is yeah,
Yeah.
he was locked outside Two Face's house under the rain. This is the same person that he is having an event now, DJ Spinner. Everyone is like, oh, DJ Spinner, oh, Ubi Franklin, oh, but it took them almost 15 years to get to where they are right now. So he said something to them like, if you want to get to where we are now, sorry, you need to understand that it will take you 15 years. It may not take you exactly 15 years, but it may take you even longer or lesser, but it will take time. And that's one thing that applies to business generally, because, like I did mention in the book, that when it comes to you being a woman, your time is split in half, and even further half. So it's more like you have maybe one third of your entire time to yourself. Now, the decision to be focused, or the decision to be resilient, is you saying, oh, I want to make something out of myself. I don't want to waste my time investing, because when you look at people who are successful, they have the same characteristics. When you say you have a business, you're working two jobs sometimes. You had a time when you're working three jobs. I remember then, so a couple of years ago, when you paid your fees through the university, and you said, I want to get in degree management, and you paid your way through school. That is resilience. So you saying, working on what your goal is. And I love what you mentioned about always answering the why question. So why do you want to have money? I mentioned in the book that money, the purpose of money is not to show up, but for self and ultimate sufficiency. So you having money for yourself, and you having money for people who are around you as well. So you have to define, like what Edith said, you have to define what your why is. If you do not know why you want certain things, then when discouragement comes, you kind of like, it shakes you. Many,
Absolutely.
many years ago, I used to do a lot of coaching and mentoring and things like that. But I had to take a pause and say, okay, I want to do coaching, I want to do mentoring a different way, not like every other person. I don't want to go read a book and come and teach people. I'd rather teach you from my experiences. And I thank God so much for everything that I've been through, and I have businesses. So when people call me and they say, what do you think I should do regarding my business? I can confidently tell you, apply the strategy and it worked, and you definitely see results. But it took resilience, from having a baby. We have all had challenges. I remember when I just had my last baby, I was 5 months pregnant before I had him. And I had a business, the hair business I was doing. I had my own brand of hair. I had all the shop equipment. I basically had a beautiful salon for ladies and all. And then I lost that business all because, they said, you can't bring your baby to the business place and that. I cried, I begged, I was going to pay insurance. They said, no, 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 we can't. And then I lost business. At that point in time, it took me a while, and I was so, depressed for like almost a month, thinking, is this the end for me? Why are things not working the way I want it to work? But
Yeah.
one day I just woke up and said, no, enough is enough with this thinking. I need to find something else. And that's where I bettered my travel business. And since 2017, it's been really, really growing and very, very successful business. So if I had quit, given up at that time, this business would not be a reality. So in terms of being a woman, I will say it again, you have to make some sacrifices. You have to lose some time for pleasure. You can't have like, how do they say it, Evita? You can't eat your cake and have it, or have your cake and eat it. Some people say the other way. You can't, if you want to be a lady who, goes to party, just chill, you have to define a path for yourself. Like you made mention about choosing your circle of friends. I believe you have something to say about that. Can you maybe give an advice on how you
Yeah.
choose your friends when it comes to being in a circle?
Yeah, you see, like in life, you are very right. You can't have everything. There is so much when you keep going same path and don't see the changes, or you are in that comfort zone, as I say, you know, when you get to the certain age, you feel like, hold on, I've been for so long into this. You
Yeah.
want to expand that comfort zone, but when you are within that comfort zone, you never will gonna grow. And always, ladies, remember one thing: things doesn't come easy. We grow only
Mm.
when we face the challenges, and when we facing
Yeah.
those challenges, life becomes interesting. And when we reach that, it's become so meaningful. So even
Mhm.
like achieving something what you've been dreamt of, it becomes so meaningful. And same thing for the friends. When you go for friends, you
Mm.
cannot go for everyone. It's just a human being is like, when you start growing mentally, like self-educating, you will realize so many friends there are not actually friends. Anything happens, the
No.
best thing how you actually realize that, see if when you become successful, see how many people are gonna say congratulate Naomi or congratulate Evita. See,
Yeah.
or there will be
Mhm.
this that kind of set of friends that will be there, but will be, how is the business going? Is it everything
Mhm.
okay? That kind of friends as well. No,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
have to get rid
Yeah.
of that kind of friends. And when you ask the favors, there are so many circumstances in life when you can kind of recognize when the friends are real friends or not. But I say you
Mhm.
cannot have many good friends.
Mm.
No, you, because there are so much envy going, so much gossiping as well going, and yes, you have to pick and choose.
Yeah. Exactly. Like different, many people have their own opinions about life, and a lot of ladies have a different perspective on how to approach life. Some believe that they should not work. Some believe that, you can own a business. Some believe something else. So if you as a lady, right, you are someone who is ambitious, you want to make something out of your life, and you're not best friends with someone who believes that a woman should be at home, you're not going to get any sort of encouragement from such a person, right? And there are
Right.
some who would say, oh, you're going on holiday, and they're going and they don't have the money to afford a holiday for their family, and they feel jealous of you, like, how come you can do that? Maybe you have some relationship with a guy somewhere who is now giving you the money. They don't know how hard you worked overnight. I shared something very, very lovely in the book about the virtuous woman in Proverbs 21. The particular scripture said that she rises while it is yet night to provide food for her household. You
Fault.
know,
Yes, I
so while
remember that.
people
Yes.
are sleeping, she rises. And I did mention in the book that the fact that she rises every night does not mean that every attempt is successful. It doesn't mean
Absolutely.
because as
No,
a
we
woman,
fail. We
sometimes,
fail. Yeah.
yeah, Yeah, sometimes you will fall ill, you will feel like giving up. Sometimes people around you will not understand. And what's off if you have the wrong friends around you? You know, I've discovered that there are some people who like to feed off your problems. You know, they like to feed off your, they get to feel successful when they see that you are down. So say for example, I would say, "Oh, Evita, what's going on with you?" And you're like, "Oh, things are not working for me. I'm a bit sad. I'm a bit this, that." And I'm like, "Okay, wow." And I feel like, "Oh, thank God it's not me." I feel like, "Oh, things are going great for me. I'm so grateful." So that's when they get to celebrate their success. That's when they get to celebrate that they are, doing well about themselves. You don't need such people around you. You know,
No,
there's a lot of negativity. You don't need people around you.
that set of friends,
Yeah.
I
So
call them
yeah.
vampire friends. You don't want to feed
Mom,
them. No, you don't want to feed them. You better stay away. You rather say what they want to hear than how it's reality. So yes.
yeah, I watched a live. It was a reality show called Married to Medicine. You should see it. It's on Netflix. And every time I watch, it's more like the House of, I see, Desperate Housewives, something. No, not that one. It's like the New Jersey Wives or
A new
Housewives of Atlanta,
housewife.
something like that. Yeah, so it's like that. So every time I watch shows like that, it reminds me why I don't have friends. It's not, don't get me wrong, it's not like I don't have friends, but you know what I'm talking about, that kind of family. Because
Yes, yes.
whether we like it or not, women bring in a lot of energy into a relationship. And this energy sometimes can be very, very toxic if you do not get the
Yeah.
right energy. You can be so discouraged in life to pursue anything. Because I remember when I was younger, I had this set of friends who like to, I was like in the SU prayer group. So anytime I do something wrong, just a little bit wrong, they like to blow it out of proportion and say, "Hey, she did something wrong for once," and they never want to let that issue go.
They
It
celebrate.
sounds
Yeah,
really funny
yes.
now. It sounds really funny now when I'm saying it, but back then it wasn't funny at all because I found that really bruised my self-esteem. I could not speak in public. I could not talk to people. I was not confident enough because every time they see, like, everyone has a crush on a guy when you're in school. I mean, ladies will agree with me. You had a guy that you had a crush on. So I had a crush on this guy, and every time he would come around, these ladies will say something unkind to me. Something obviously maybe they think not right. So I had really short hair. I wasn't very tall. My skin was extremely dark. So when the guy comes around, they'll be like, "Hey, Naomi, gosh, your skin is so dark. Like the day God made you was angry."
Yeah, yeah,
Do you
yeah.
understand? And they'll say, "Your hair is so short." And then we touch my, how can someone's hair be this short? Or then I had a flat bum as well. And they would say, "How come your bum is so flat? Like, what was God doing when He made you? Before you got there, all the bum was gone." So they make a lot of joke about me that makes me look down on myself. So when the guy is coming, I feel ashamed and then I hide.
Yeah,
You don't
because
need that kind of, you
no,
can
because
imagine.
no.
You don't need that kind of person around you. You don't need those kind of people. You have to select your circle. You have to move around with people with the same mindset.
Yeah,
Someone was
absolutely.
telling me, another example recently about, she was doing a business and she's sourcing for clients, and her friend is in the same business as well. But before the friend got into the business, she said, "Oh, you're my best friend and all. This is what I want to do." And the friend said, "Oh no, I'm not interested in this kind of business and all." And then 2 weeks later, boom, the friend is like a diamond person in the business, like climbed the ladder. And
No.
she's seen it and she's surprised. Like, you said you're not interested in the business, but now you've risen higher than even me that told you about the business. And then this friend goes behind her back to tell other people about the business just to get them on board. And she's like, "What kind of person is this?" But I tell you, people have a different approach to life and they pursue things in a different way. Yourself,
Absolutely.
if you have to know
Yeah,
the characteristics, but the basic point of what we're saying is you have to select your friends wisely. Let me
very.
just say, yeah, before I know you do have something to say about that. Let me just say, can you, if you have a question, please send us your questions. You can drop it in the comment section, or send me a private message. The number is on your screen. Let's just have a conversation. You can ask whatever things you feel is bothering you or you're struggling with. Please send us a question so that we can know that you are following what we are saying. Someone just commented, they said you have to select your circle, move around people with the same mindset. Yeah, absolutely true. Because one thing I discovered in life, Evita, is that not everyone wants to be successful. It's ironic, but not everyone actually wants to be successful. People want money the easy way.
Easy way,
People
absolutely. Yes,
just want
yes.
money the easy way. They can't really, bring themselves to accept that they have to really work hard. One of the conferences I had some weeks, was it like maybe a few months back, I discussed about people not being not getting deceived by passion, but actually making sure that whatever you're passionate about is productive, so it's producing money for you. At the time when I was doing business, there was a time I felt like it's good to just say I'm a business owner. It just feels good to say I own a business, yes, I run a business. But
Yeah.
then the business wasn't producing money for me. But I had to sit down one day and say, Naomi, if you really, really want to make money, then you have to be serious. You have to embrace your fear and approach the business and do it the way people are doing it. Get it ready and get the hardware. There are sometimes like you said, you really, really work hard. There are sometimes I stay 24 hours on my laptop. It's so crazy that one day, Victor, I wrote on my laptop. I was doing my thesis then. I wrote for 19 hours, 45 minutes.
Unbelievable. You
19,
see what we are capable.
you
You
understand?
wouldn't be working somewhere else for 19 hours. You would be like after 5 hours, oh, I can't wait. But when you
I'm
do
telling
for
you, I'm like,
yourself, it's different.
yeah, it's different. Even my husband
It
woke up a
is.
couple of times. He woke up a couple of times and like, this woman, are you serious? You're still awake. By the time I got up from the chair, I could not walk properly. 19 hours. And I wrote about
Unbelievable.
19, I think it was about 18,000 words I wrote. And I broke a record when I wrote that book. We did a copywriting, editing, and everything. I finished that book in less than 2 weeks. And the total word
Unbelievable.
count on that book is 16,000 plus. And you know that is someone's, if I have two masters dissertation, that's two master's dissertation I wrote in less than 2 weeks. But if you
Amazing.
told me before that you can do this, I would say no. And that's where it comes to when people say things like, oh, I don't believe in myself, or I don't know what I'm going to do. I made mention of self exploration in the book as a means to identifying what you can do. There is no, when we are born, I don't think you were born with a label on you and say, Evita is going to be a single mom, or Evita is going to, work with. When you were born, there
Right.
was no care, there was no life plan. You know how they say care plan in the health sector. There was no life plan to say every time this is what you're gonna do. So it's more like you jump into life and you begin to explore your abilities. So if you do not try, like you made mention of, failing, if you do not try, how can you possibly get there?
And you
I
learn
believe
the
some persons,
lessons through the
yeah.
failing, isn't it? Because if you don't fail,
Hmm.
it means you won't grow because you don't know how it is to fail. You have to have a taste of it. You have to
Yeah.
succeed. Absolutely.
Failure, like I said, failure is you're learning new experiences. You're learning new life lessons. Is your continuous working on yourself. You're learning new things about yourself. Okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to try this a new way, right? So
Right.
give yourself the opportunity to learn. Life is hard, like we all know, but it pays to be resilient. Resilience is your ability to rise up from difficult situations. I mean, there've been difficult situations in your life every time, haven't they? When you feel like, oh no, I just better have a bottle of vodka and just conquer.
You see how I see the life. I would never say life is sad. I think it's beautiful. It's
Mhm,
the way you take it. You see,
mhm.
anything in life will gonna be hard. If we start moaning, concentrating on things, what is hard, what is challenging, then we will be like a wife's moaners. So you have to go approach it and go different way, because in
Mhm.
life nothing comes easy, but when it comes is like, especially as woman, as a, I don't know, when you parent the kids, is not
Yeah.
easy. Like people say, oh, it's hard job, but it's so worth it though. It's
Mhm,
like you cannot see the seeds and have the fruit
mhm,
at the same day, isn't it?
mhm.
You have to
Yeah.
have an effort. You do plant, you have a look around, and it
Mhm,
only will gonna bring that fruit after some time. So, and what else I can mention? It's all about the hard work. You have to have that mindset, as you said. You cannot be wake up. I want this one, I don't know, 1 million in my account, but you have to work towards it. Yeah, some people get lucky and they get like, I would say money is not everything, but money will gonna comfort so many problems. Like, I would rather cry in a Bentley rather than in a bus, isn't it? So that
Yeah.
kind of things like, but when you concentrate just money, 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 you will lose the focus about your husband, focus on kids and house things. You cannot be just 100%. So you have to have the balance for everything. That's what
Everything.
it is. Like, money is not everything, but trust me, guys, when money enters your account, you start speaking differently. That's how it is. Money talks for
Absolutely.
your account. Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, in the absence of questions, I would like us to talk lastly before we round up about doubt. I know there are people who are listening to us today and they're feeling like, oh, I don't think I can do it. What would you say to such a person that's doubting themselves right now?
Doubting, when you start doubting, and there's a lot of people, you have to firstly start working on yourself, your confidence, your self-esteem. It doesn't come. Start with little things. You don't have to do majorly. Some people, I don't know, about weight, look, just do little things what makes you happy. And if you work well, yeah, it's mainly everything is about the confidence, the doubt, and overthinking. To achieve in a life, don't think too much. First thing, when for instance somebody approach you and says, do you want this job, and someone is hungry for it, yes, straight away. But when I go back home and I'm thinking, oh, can I do it, can I not do it, I'm not sure, that's when you start overthinking. That's when you start building up those doubts in your mind. No, just go for it. You have to, but you have to work a lot on yourself. It doesn't come easy, and you cannot. There can be 100 women. I will say same thing what I'm saying right now. There will be women who will gonna get me straight away. Oh, I know what she's talking about, and some will be, what kind of nonsense is this? It's all about how you carry yourself, but it's a lot what
Yourself,
is here.
yeah.
You have to educate yourself, not like going to school and anything like that. It's about, I don't know if anyone, like, it's psychology is like, you see, before we never had that information that much available. Now the internet is full of it, and it does help. Rather than watching news 24/7, which is negative, I rather read which is positive. So how do you think how my mood will going to be? Obviously positive
Yeah,
rather than negative.
positive, yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
So you have to start with something what makes you feel good. At least don't have to go on a full blast, just tiny
Yeah.
bit, step by step. Get into that kind of rhythm, like a routine,
Hmm.
and you will get there. I promise you will gonna get there, because nothing comes easy. But once you have that consistency in life and courage, you will get there. So you might not be believing in yourself. I never had such a background in business from back home. Nobody was business orientated. And when I heard about that opportunity like that, I just went straight away for it, because I didn't know if I can do it. Because, like I say, sky is just the limit for us, because there is no limitation. We don't know what we're capable till we don't start doing that. So it goes that way. So consistency and courage will going to take you far away, and believe in yourself. Absolute.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And your imagination has a lot to do about resilience because having the right mindset is important. And what you see, others cannot see. That's the truth.
Yeah.
What you see when you approach a business or you try to apply for a job, others cannot see. So I mentioned in the book about creating your ideal self. You know,
The
what
vision, like
that
I say.
picture that you have in your mind of yourself, vision, yeah, bring it to reality. Every time you make mention about writing on paper, I have a book here. Let me show you. I have a book here that has, can you see this folder?
Yes, I
I
can
write
see.
on every single folder. One, this is 2, this is 3, 4. It's 4 in one book. I write. In fact, I like writing with pencils now because I like to erase. You see, there's so much writing. In fact, you can't even see my writing
I do
because,
the
in
same.
school,
Yeah,
no
I do
one
the
could.
same. Absolutely.
You have to write, write. If I get a single idea about something, boom, I'm writing it down. I do not waste time. If you write what you're feeling at that moment down, it becomes a reality. You get closer to your plan because our minds is so powerful that it releases and draws energy. That is
Absolutely.
why if you are close to someone who is negative, you can feel it.
Oh yeah,
They don't have
that's
to say
great.
anything. They don't have to do anything. But if you're around someone who has negative energy, you feel it. So think about it, how powerful that is. The person released their negative vibe, and you feel like, I don't like this vibe I'm feeling here. If you go somewhere, even if it's in the day or in the night, if someone evil is around you, you feel it. Like, oh, this person is not good. I don't feel safe. It's the same way. When your mind thinks about something positive, it tries to draw positive energy from wherever it is towards you. And that's why we're talking about being conscious of your circle. It's so important, but it starts from you because whatever you're thinking in your mind can be polluted by negative energy. In the beginning of the book, in the introduction, I did make mention of photosynthesis as regards plants and how plants receive light and water before releasing oxygen. And I liken that to a woman receiving energies to nurture. So without these energies, you can't nurture properly. So if, like what Evita said, you spend time watching movies and watching negative news, that is all your mind will be filled with,
Yeah.
and that is what you will reproduce. But when you fill your mind with things that are positive, and you have that enclosed space, it is so important to have your own personal space as a woman. You need to have your own. If it means cutting off friends, then you have to cut off friends. But it's important that you have a safe zone for yourself personally, where you can go back to filter what you receive. No one should be able to come into that enclosed space. Like, it is just for you. So it's more like you putting a filter in your heart and making sure no negative emotions or energies pass through that filter. It is so important. So when you write down your vision, you have to go down, make it plain, break it down into tiny goals that you can achieve. But it's constantly, it is important that you receive the right energies, because what you think in your mind, it draws the people towards you.
Yes,
So if you're
absolutely.
doubting yourself, yeah. So if you're doubting yourself, like Evita mentioned, if you're doubting yourself, start by completing little tasks. So set an alarm. Oh, I'm going to do this. I did say to someone what I do practically. I've stopped doing that, but initially when I was trying to get my tasks done and get myself to where I want to be, I used to set alarms for every hour. Yeah, Evita, and every time my phone rings, guess what it says? It's so funny. What have you achieved today?
That's a
Every
good
hour.
one. That's a good reminder, I have to say. Yes.
Yeah, it's like a stalker and like a shamer, if I would say. So it's more like if I'm watching Netflix and it rings, what have you achieved with your life today? I'm like, oh my gosh. So it's like, oh, a bump on the face, like, oh my God, okay. I start feeling guilty about how I'm spending my time. So you
Yeah.
can do the same for yourself. Set 30 minutes alarm and say, I need to do this. For example, there's some people who are procrastinators. They can't get anything done. They keep posting and posting and posting. When your alarm rings 10 times in one day, you'll see how foolish you've been. That's how it makes me. Maybe if I used to spend time to watch movie or just chat around on my phone. When the alarm rings 10 times, I see how stupid I've been.
Yeah,
Spending
that's actually
24
good.
hours.
I might need to borrow that kind of tip. That's a good tip. Yes,
I'm
yes,
telling
yes.
you, it works. I still do it. I still do it every time. Like I set reminders all the time. Okay, we have to get this done. Call this person at this time. Make sure you check your workflow. Call your client. Boom, boom. And I see that the day I put in
Yeah.
so much hard work, I get back return. So start by completing little tasks. Don't doubt yourself at all. Like Evita mentioned, you cannot know the outcome without trying. So you have to put yourself out there. So do not doubt yourself. Any final
Yeah.
words, Evita, before we call it a day?
I would wanted to mention something about when you said sometimes, when you go around people or you meet different people and you can just sense that negative energy. And we are blessed. We are blessed because we have the intuition and inner gut. You have to trust a lot. Sometimes when you're around people and you feel like you can't even explain, but you just don't get the vibe from the person, or you always have to socialize around people where you gain something. I really do enjoy conversations with people, don't have to be my friends, but where I can actually
Yeah.
finish that conversation and think, oh my God, I really had a good vibe. I've been like yesterday in the morning, we spoke and I had energy level high like that all day long.
Wow.
So it's
Wow.
depend. Yeah, you have to have that energy levels, because meeting with people who is not, it will gonna drain you out. You will gonna, it's toxic. Don't
It's
keep
so
around toxic people, because I can't tell you is that person is right for you or that person is not right for you in your life. It's only
mhm.
you can tell, following your intuition and inner gut, because we can feel it. Sometimes you cannot explain by words what you feel, but you feel, and just follow that because God is guiding.
Yeah. Yeah, like I'd like to add something to what you said about the energies
Sure.
and stuff. I had a prayer time today for 4 hours. I was praying, and when I finished the prayer, someone called me and said, "Hey, how are you doing? What have you been up to?" There's someone that we just chat once in a while, and she works. She owns a media outlet, like a radio station in the UK, and then
Mm-hmm.
she gave me a call and she's like, "What have you been?" And I told her, "Oh wow, I wrote a book. I've had conferences. This is what I'm doing. So I'm so busy." This, and she's like, "Wow." You've been on my mind for a while, but I've been like, why? I need to call you, but I've not called you. And then someone came to my office and said, Dr. Naomi, and she knows me by another name, the
Mm-hmm.
same name you know me. Yeah. And then
Mm-hmm.
she said, who is Dr. Naomi? And they showed my picture to her. She's like, how? I know her, right? And then she said she went to my WhatsApp. They gave her my
Yeah.
personal WhatsApp. She went there, she saw Naomi, and she saw that I launched the book, and she's like, wow, I need to call her because I've been meaning to call her. And then she called and she said, well, I'm having a show online and I'm looking for a lady to join me. I've not really seen a lady that speaks my language, that has the same energy that I want. I don't just want to bring anybody on, but I want
Yes.
someone who has the same energy as I do. So to talk about this and address issues that are facing, Black people, the challenges and all regarding Black Lives Matter, and it's going to be aired live online. So I'm like, okay, wow, that's a perfect opportunity. So we set up a meeting to meet next week. So it's like just like what I mentioned before. When you're doing something positive with yourself, it draws the right
Uh,
people and the resources to
yes.
you. But the most important thing as a woman is to start out. Don't feel down because I don't have time. I have kids. See, there are people who have 5 kids, 10 kids. Make good use of what you have to get what you want. So, like I mentioned I think was it in the class or in the book as well, and some people say they have water. So basically, I was talking to someone about a business that I wanted to do, getting food from Africa, down to the UK and all. So I was saying to this person about 2 months ago that after I sorted out some things, I'm gonna blend the tomato, the tin tomatoes we have, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah, yeah.
blend them, drain the water out by steaming, and then have them packaged to sell so that it saves someone time of cutting it up, blending, and then steaming. So I took out the process to introduce convenience as a business. So the person said, oh, that's a good idea. So I was like, okay, fine, why don't you start doing it? Because I don't have time to start, but I'm giving you the idea so you can do it. And then person, okay. And guess what? Just last week, I saw that same thing on someone else's status on WhatsApp. Someone
There
has
you go.
already done that.
You
Someone
have to.
like so.
Time is very
Yeah,
important. Yes.
very important. It made me realize something that your ideas, what you're thinking about, someone else is also thinking about that same thing. You're not the
Yes.
only one thinking about your idea. It is a battle of the quickest. So I said, so you have the tomato, you have a fridge, you have a cooker. What are you doing with those things? You say, I don't have money, I'm broke, I don't have what you have now. You are your first and most important resource. And I made mention of that in the book when I was talking about the chapter when I addressed productivity. if you have not bought the book, please do all you can to buy, because you're not going to get all the information that you need to grow yourself for free. It doesn't happen all the time. So I advise that you do that. I talked about you yourself being your first and most important resource. So as a woman, it starts with you. Every time I mentioned that you have to work on yourself personally to
That's
get rid of
firstly,
the doubt.
yes.
Analyze.
Number one.
Yeah, firstly, get rid of the doubt. Analyze what you know that you can do perfectly. Give yourself credit for that and amplify what you do. Lastly, I'm going to mention something. So I went to, during this week, that was on Tuesday, I did school run. So when I picked up my son from school, he said something to me that someone had called him a loser in school. So another child called my son a loser. And I'm like, why did he call you a loser? He said, because we had a race and I was not fast enough. And the boy thinks that he's a winner because he wins every single race. And he said, so mom, can you get me speedy shoes so that I could run faster? But I think speedy shoes will make me run faster. So I said, okay, when we get home, we're gonna tell daddy that you need speedy shoes. But I didn't just say that alone to him, but I said, do you know what other things you're good at? Because when you were on the lockdown, you wrote A, B, C to Z. You didn't make any mistake. You wrote 1 to 100. You improved on yourself. You didn't make any mistake. You're so good at your sentences. Even your file, that came back, the summary of how you performed. Your teachers were so good, so happy with you. You go along with every other kid. You encourage people. I say, so these are something, and he's like, wow, mom. Yeah, I think yeah. So dad and I are so proud of you. But the very next day, so I said to him, just because your friend is good at running the race does not mean he's also good at writing. Everyone has something they're good at. And when I said to the teacher the next morning, I went to drop him and I said to the teacher, this is what happened. And she said, oh, yes, some other kid also complained about this as well. And we have addressed it. I said, yeah, it will also help you to let them know that the fact that you are good at running and someone else is not good at running does not mean that they're utterly useless. Right. And I'm saying this example because it's the same to you as a woman. Because one woman has a business, you feel like, oh, I need to jump on that business. No, discover yourself. What are you good at? It's about you, your capability. There's no one God created that was useless. You have something special about you. You just need to discover, and it may take a couple of failing. Many times, a couple of failing. You have to fail sometimes for you to finally say, yes, this is it. Yes. So someone is succeeding at something. Like someone called me, she's successful in the catering business, and she's like, wow, you're not doing catering right now, but I'm making so much money. I wouldn't mind to expand to the UK if you want to get on board. And I said to her, my passion is not cooking. Just because you're making money does not mean I have to jump on board and start cooking.
That's what
it's going to fail. It's going to fail. So you have to find that which is
carry on.
Yeah, so you have to find out which is peculiar to you and amplify it. Blow a trumpet about what you can do. Focus. Don't focus on what someone else is doing, because you're going to get distracted. Like someone called me and was saying, oh, this person did this to me. This person did that. How can this person do that? If you keep focusing on that, it's blah, blah, blah. I'm hearing in my ears. You're not talking about yourself. You're talking about what someone else is doing. No, focus on your strength. What can you do? And I had to redirect her mind back to her goal. What is your goal? Is to establish a successful business. Good. And I said to her, okay, you are pursuing the wrong business at the moment. Why don't you go into this? We had to, it was a mentoring session, and we had to go through everything, all the opportunities she had. I said, why don't you focus on it? And she's like, oh, wait a minute. Wow, I never thought about this. So I said, yes, because we are putting your mind on what the other lady was doing. So don't get distracted by what people are doing. Some of you may be seeing someone doing coaching online and say, I want to jump on and do coaching. I want to jump on and sell shoes. Not everyone can do it. You have to know what your driving force is. Like what Evita said I really love is that you need to answer the question, what and why. You need to answer the why. Why? Why do I want to do this? Why do I want to do this? So ladies, I will round up by saying that no matter the challenges you find yourself, you have to be resilient. Because that's the only way. No one's going to help you to stand up when you fall. You are the only one. And the greatest show of courage is that you are able to stand up when you fall. Okay? Every time do you have anything else to say? So that
I just would like to thank everyone who ever joined us, and thank you, Naomi, for this opportunity to be with you. And I would suggest every lady to whoever goes on Amazon, get the book, because it's absolutely blind on. You will gonna learn a lot. You will gonna get the points, and it's all about the urgency in life. Thank you very much. I appreciate.
Thank you so much. So thank you so much, Evita, for coming on. Thank you for being on time. Thank you for organizing everything to make sure that you're ready. Thank you. Thank you. Say thank you to Katie as well for being so
Will
supportive.
do. He's been good boy. I hope you guys did not hear him, but he's been good.
Yeah.
He's been
I'll get
good.
you a present. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone, for watching. If you have any questions for Evita, you can send that to me and I'll forward it to her and get the answer across to you. I love you guys so much. Thank you for always supporting all the events that we're holding. We have another one coming up tomorrow evening. We'll be talking about career. I have someone wonderful coming up with me, on YouTube. It's going to be on YouTube, so go and subscribe to the channel. It's Dr. Naomi Knows on YouTube. So, and this video will be left on this group. It will also be on the YouTube channel and also be on the WhatsApp one as well. WhatsApp, we're going to put it everywhere. Just make sure tiny clips and tiny bits on Instagram, everywhere. So we love you guys
Great
so much.
stuff.
Thank you
God
for
bless.
joining us. Thank you.
Thank
Have
you.
a wonderful evening. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.